Hello friends, welcome to a new Happy Learning video. Today we're going to get to know a continent full of mysteries, big deserts, of wild animals, lions, gorillas and elephants. Today we're going to get to know Africa. Look at this map of the world. It is divided into 6 continents: America, Antarctica, Oceania, Asia, Europe, and Africa. Antarctica is not counted because it is uninhabited. Africa is the 3rd largest continent in the world, after Asia and America. It is made up of 54 countries. But in Africa, more than 1,500 languages are spoken. What you can see here is the Sahara Desert, the largest desert on the planet. Kilometers and kilometers of sand dunes through which the Tuaregs travel, the inhabitants of the desert. Thanks to the camels, they can find water and survive. The Sahara Desert divides Africa into 2 parts. To the north are the Arab countries, and to the south is sub-Saharan Africa. One of the most important countries in Africa is Egypt. Its capital city is Cairo. The Egyptians come from a very ancient and highly developed civilization. Besides from building pyramids and painting hieroglyphics, they were also great doctors and genius inventors. Did you know that they invented combs, scissors, and makeup? What show-offs! The longest river in Africa also flows through Egypt, the Nile. In its waters lives one of the largest crocodiles in the world, the crocodile of the Nile. Another very important country in Africa is Kenya. This country has vast savannahs and grasslands full of lions, giraffes, and rhinos. The capital of Kenya is Nairobi. Did you know that it is the only capital in the world that has a wildlife sanctuary in the middle of the city? The highest mountain in Africa is Kilimanjaro. Well, actually, it's a 3-peaked volcano, and what you can see here at the very top is snow. Can you believe it? Africa is a fascinating and beautiful continent, but it has a very ugly and sad side. Africa is home to the 10 poorest countries in the world. The lack of rivers and rainfall makes life in this continent very difficult. There is no water for crops and livestock, nor for drinking or cleaning. In countries like Somalia or Nigeria, millions of people don't have food, children don't go to school, and they don't have hospitals for when they are sick, and many of them have no choice but to work from a very young age. Moreover, some countries have turned Africa into a garbage dump. They secretly send their rubbish, endangering nature and the health of all living beings. Fortunately, there are many people working to stop this from happening and to make life in these countries just that little bit easier. And you can help too. If you take care of everything that surrounds you, if you think about those who need help, and if you show solidarity, you will make sure that in Africa and in many other places, children will be happier and have a better future.
Great! You've completed the video. Now continue the route with the reading card, the video game, and the activity.
Egypt is a country that still exists today, situated in northeastern Africa. But what we call ancient Egypt is a civilization that started more than 5,000 years ago and lasted for approximately 3,000 years. Its origins commences with Pharaoh Name, also known as a Scorpion King, who in 3200 BC funded this country at the Nile's bank. The River Nile is the largest river in Africa and was the most important existing thing for Egyptians since they depended on its water to survive. Their whole civilization and cities rose from the river's bank. The Nile was so important because Egypt is a country surrounded by desert and the cultivations could only take place at its shores. But it wasn't only used for agriculture. The river was also used to fish and hunt. They also used it as a great road to transport goods or large stone blocks used for their constructions. All of this was why the Nile was considered to be a god. Actually, ancient Egyptians had hundreds of gods. Some had a human's body and an animal's head, like goddess Bastet, who had a lion's head, or god Anubis and his jackal head. But the most important of all was Ra, god of sun, who had a falcon's head. The pharaohs were ancient Egypt's kings. There were many pharaohs over 3,000 years, but the most famous one was Tutankhamun. Ancient Egyptians believed in life after death, and therefore they were buried with their belongings, furniture, vases, clothes, and even food. They believed that this way these things could be used in the next life. As pharaohs had the greatest power, they wanted to have the best tombs, and they got them. These tremendous pyramids were built for pharaohs' tombs. Inside them, there are many tunnels, chambers, and secret passageways. When they died, pharaohs and some noblemen's bodies were mummified to preserve their bodies after death. These are the famous mummies. Mummies were placed in a sarcophagus, luxurious coffins that were covered in beautiful drawings and hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics were the mysterious Egyptian writings. Their meaning was a mystery for thousands of years, but thanks to archaeologists, we can translate them and partly understand what they want to say. The truth is, everything in ancient Egypt's circle fascinates me. You already know that discovering the past makes us understand the present and improve the future. Goodbye, friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning TV.
¡Búscanos!
Y suscríbete al canal de YouTube de Happy Learning.